What up, nerds? This is Clay Cooper from Prep Expert. I've got 2 perfect scores on the SAT and 1 perfect score on the ACT. And today I'm going to teach you how to handle tone questions in the writing sections of both tests. All right, tone questions are very common in both the SAT and the ACT in their writing sections, in the English section of the ACT. So a tone question, especially in the writing section, basically what it means is you'll have more than one answer choice that could, in theory, be correct in terms of meaning. Like maybe more than one answer choice that means roughly the same thing. However, there will be a reason to distinguish between them because some of them don't have the right tone for the passage. Now let's talk about what that means. What does tone mean? In this instance, what we mean by tone is something like formality. So some answer choices are very formal, some answer choices are very informal. Okay, so we're looking at formal versus informal. The vast majority of SAT writing section passages will take a formal tone overall, at least somewhat formal. Some are very formal. The least formal passage I've ever seen, though, was still pretty formal. In other words, almost every SAT writing section passage will be at least pretty formal, which means that if you're going to choose answers that match the tone of the passage, you should really never choose an answer that has an informal tone. What do we mean by an informal tone? What we mean is expressions or colloquialisms that we might use in everyday life, but that we should never use in formal writing. A great way to think about it is if you wouldn't write it in an essay for school, it's probably not formal enough for the SAT writing section's passages. If you'd feel a little bit awkward saying it to in a job interview or to your principal or to someone you respected, it's probably not formal enough for an SAT writing section passage. I can give you some examples of things that aren't formal enough. What's up? Super intense. I think I saw that one on an SAT once. Just about. That expression is definitely not formal enough. The word totally or completely when used informally, right? So there are lots of examples of things that we say in everyday speech and language that are not very formal, that we don't very literally mean, that really have no business in an SAT writing passage. So again, if you wouldn't write it in a high school essay, if you wouldn't turn it in, if you wouldn't put it on a final exam, then it has no business in an SAT writing section passage. Again, the vast majority of the passages in the writing section on the SAT are at least somewhat formal. If you are in doubt, if you're looking at an answer choice and you're not sure if it's formal enough, in my experience, the more formal it is, the more likely it is to be correct. The less formal it is, the less likely it is to be correct. Answer choices that are informal expressions, I pretty much have never seen them be correct on the SAT. So again, you should always be looking for every answer that you choose in the writing section. Make sure it's formal enough for the passage. Let's take a look at an example. Students of Central American history are often struck by the pervasive, lasting influence of imperial European nations. The legacy of these colonial masters can be seen pretty much everywhere in the New World, from the European languages spoken there to the architecture, religions, and art that characterize the region. So here's a great example of a tone question. So I can tell you right away after reading it first time through, pretty much is not a formal enough expression for an SAT writing section passage. It's just not going to work. If we were to say just everywhere, that might work, but pretty much itself is not formal enough. I think we can go ahead and mark that out. What about all over the place in the New World? That, again, I'm not sure is formal enough. All over the place is not a literally accurate expression, right? So if it's literally inaccurate and it's a little informal as well, it does not make a good answer choice. The legacy of these colonial masters can be seen a lot around the New World. Again, I don't love a lot. A lot's just not very formal. I don't think it really fits the passage here. What about throughout? There's no problem with formality for the word throughout. Throughout can definitely be very formal. The question is, will it fit grammatically? The legacy of these colonial masters can be seen throughout the New World. Throughout means all the way through, and I think that's perfect. Its meaning fits perfectly. It is the only one of these 4 answer choices that is formal enough. And that's actually worth noting. So, in my experience, it's really, really common in the writing section that when you have one answer choice that isn't formal enough, that is too informal, you'll actually usually have several of them. In other words, these informal answer choices tend to occur in bunches. If you see one answer choice that isn't formal enough, be on the lookout for one or two more. Very often you can do exactly what we just did here and get all the way to just one answer left because three of them aren't formal enough. So again, in the writing section, always make sure that every answer you choose has a tone that is formal enough to match the rest of the passage. So that's all I've got for you today. Please don't forget to throw us a like if you found this video helpful. You can also subscribe to Prep Expert's YouTube channel for other videos just like this one. In fact, we'd love it if you'd leave us a comment below this video. Let us know what you want advice on from a 2-time perfect score in our next video. We might feature your suggestion as the topic for our next video. You can also find a coupon code in the description below this video that you can use on our website, prepexpert.com, for discounts on all of our products. You can sign up for a course with myself or another instructor, or sign up for tutoring if you'd prefer that. So until next time, keep working hard.